Hello students, I am Chintak Patel, your biology teacher. Today we are going to continue our chapter number 5, the fundamental unit of life cell. Our first topic is the difference between the animal cell and plant cell. So all of you know animal cell and the plant cells are the example of eukaryotic cell, but there are some difference between animal cell and plant cell. Okay, so first of all, animal cells are generally in small size. Okay, so animal cells are small in size, as well as plant cells are usually larger than the animal cells. Okay, so this is the first difference. Now next, the cell wall is absent in animal cell. Okay, the animal cell, the outermost covering, it's a cell membrane. Cell wall is absent, and in plant cell the cell wall is present, and it is the outermost covering. It is present outside of the cell membrane. You can see in the diagram. Okay, the cell wall is present in plant, but it is absent in animal cell. Okay, so this is the major difference between animal cell and plant cell. Animal cell without cell wall and plant cell having cell wall. Okay, next, the one cell organelle. Okay, it is plastid. So in animal cell plastids are absent except euglena. It is a protozoan. It is a connecting link between plant and animal cell. So this euglena, it's an animal, say unicellular animal, but it possesses some plastids. Okay, and in plant cell the plastids are present like chromoplast and leucoplast. Okay, in next video we understood what is plastid. Okay, now animal cell, the vacuoles are smaller in size. Vacuole is all other cell organelle. It is small in plant, but small in animal, and but the in plant cell the vacuoles are of larger size. You can see here, this is large size vacuole. Okay, this is vacuole of plant and it is of large size. Okay, so the vacuoles are small in size and vacuoles are large in size. Okay, so these are some basic difference between animal cell and plant cell. You can write other difference by own. Okay, now next, our next topic is the membrane or plasma membrane. It is the important topic when we are study about the cell, because the cell the existence of cell just because of its membrane, cell membrane, and its work as a watchman. Okay, like in your school, like our school is surrounded by the boundary. Okay, then this boundary is a cell membrane. Okay, so let's learn about the plasma membrane. Okay, the plasma membrane is the outermost covering of the cell. Okay, it is the boundary of the cell, and that separate the cell from external environment. Okay, it means it is between external environment and internal content of the cell. Okay, and it is also a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, now what do you mean by semi-permeable membrane? So it does not permeable for all the components. It means it does not provide entry of all the materials into the cell. It is a selectively permeable. Okay, so some substance are required for the cell, then it can enter into the cell, but if some substance and materials are does not require for cell, so it does not enter into the cell membrane. Okay, it is a flexible and is made up of lipids and protein. Okay, so what is the chemical component of the membrane? It is made up of lipids and protein. These are the two organic material. Okay, which is present into the cell membrane. Okay, so cell membrane, it's a function like a watchman. Okay, so in our school, watchman does not provide entry for all the person. Okay, it does not provide. It provide entry of some parents, students only. Okay, and it does not go outside of any of the students. Okay, without any permission. Okay, so it does not provide entry as well as exit without permission. Okay, so the cell membrane function like a watchman. In it is flexible, helps in cell. Okay, so it is flexible, it can change change its shape. Okay, so cell, and it makes the cell to engulf in food and other material from its external environment. Okay, so it helps to catch the food from outside of the environment. Okay, and in some organism this process is called endocytosis. Okay, see here is a spelling mistake. It is a endocytosis, ENDOCYTOSIS. Okay, endocytosis in amoeba. Okay, so amoeba, all of you know what is amoeba. Amoeba, it's a unicellular organism and it does not having definite shape. It change its shape. Okay, and in amoeba the pseudopodia can change its shape, and it helps to engulf the outside of the food material. Okay, and this is just because of the flexibility of the cell membrane. So cell membrane provide it is a flexible. Okay, next see the structure of cell membrane. Okay, this is how look the cell membrane. Okay, the cell membrane component we have already seen that the yellow balls you can see here, it is a phosphate material. Okay, phosphate. Okay, it is inorganic phosphate, and the green tail like structure is a lipid. Okay, so it is called phospholipid. It is called phospholipid, and these phospholipid are two layer. Okay, upper layer and lower layer you can see. So this cell membrane is called phospholipid bilayer. Okay, cell membrane is called phospholipid bilayer, and this red and blue material is it is a protein which is present inside the cell membrane, and it provide for help in a transportation of substance in and out of the cell. So this basically the plasma membrane is made up of lipid, protein basically, and phosphate. Okay, so this is the chemical nature of the cell membrane. Okay. Now the cell membrane is helps in exchange of material, okay, in and out of the cell. Okay, but it follows some rules. Okay, the first is diffusion. Okay, now what is diffusion? Okay, so the movement of substance from region of high concentration to region of low concentration on it is called diffusion. Okay, so diffusion means substance can move according to concentration gradient. Okay, now what is concentration gradient? The concentration gradient, it's a difference between the concentration in and out of the cell. Okay, so let's take one example. If a cell is placed in a solution, okay, and inside the solution there is less concentration of solute, sorry, okay, and outside it is a high concentration, so the substance will move from outside into the inside. Okay, so it will always move from high concentration to low concentration. Okay, it play as important role in gaseous exchange between cell as well as cell and external environment. Let's take an example of oxygen gas. Okay, so when we breathe in oxygen, okay, oxygen move from our nose to the lungs, and from lungs inside the alveoli. Okay, the alveoli, it's a small balloon like part of lungs. Okay, and in alveoli it's surrounded by blood vessel, and it is blood present into the blood vessel. Okay, now here the alveoli has a high O2 concentration, and the blood that is present in blood vessel has low oxygen. So here the oxygen will move out from alveoli and enter into the blood from the high concentration to low concentration. And when this oxygen is utilized into the cell, it produces carbon dioxide, and inside the cell there is a high concentration of carbon dioxide, and outside of the cell it is a low concentration of carbon dioxide. So here the carbon dioxide will move out of the cell according to diffusion. It means the diffusion is the movement of substance from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay, so when the level of oxygen inside the cell decrease, the oxygen from the external environment of the cell enters by the process of diffusion. Okay, now it is the diagram of the diffusion. The solute or substance always move from higher concentration to lower concentration. It means left to right. Okay, now other law is the osmosis. Okay, now osmosis is the passage of water. Okay, in diffusion it is a movement of substance like gas, but here it is a passage of water from region of high water concentration to region of low water concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Now what is semi-permeable membrane? It is a plasma membrane. Okay, so the water will also move from its higher concentration to lower concentration. If the outside of the cell it's a high concentration of water and inside is low, then the water will move into the cell. And if inside is the high water concentration and outside is low, then water will come out of the cell. This is the basic movement of water across the cell membrane. Okay, the membrane which permits the entry and exit of some material in the cell is called semi-permeable membrane. It also prevents movement of some material, so it is called selectively permeable membrane. Okay, first to understand the osmosis, first we have to understand about the different types of the solution. Okay, so basically what is solution? The solution means it is the mixture of solvent and solute. Okay, so here takes the example of salt solution. Okay, in salt solution the water it's a solvent and the salt it's a solute. Okay, so if we add solute into the water, then it become a salt solution. Okay, but the different type of solution depends on the concentration of solute. Okay, now let's take an example. There are the three types of solution. Okay, the first is isotonic solution. Okay, now what is isotonic? Here understood what is isotonic solution. A solution that has same solute concentration as other solution. Okay, if we put cell in some solution, then inside the cell having same solute concentration and outside is also having same solute concentration. Okay, there is no net movement of water, so in this condition the outside and inside the water concentration will be the same, so there is no net movement of water molecules. If the some molecules enter into the cell, then some molecules exit from the cell, so there is no net movement between the water molecules. Okay, and the overall concentration of both sides of the cell membrane remains constant. Okay, it is isotonic solution. Now what is, you can see in the diagram. Okay, the inside the cell is the 20% solute concentration and 80% water, and same outside also 20% solute concentration and 80% water. Okay, now let's look the hypertonic solution. Now what is hypertonic solution? Here the hyper means high, hyper means high. Okay, and high, it means of the high solute concentration. If the solute concentration is high, then the water concentration is low. Okay, so the solution that has higher solute concentration having low water concentration than the other solution. Now water particles will move out of the cell. If the outside the water concentration is low, then the water will move out from the cell and cell will shrink in hypertonic solution. Okay, let's see in diagram. You can see that the inside it is a 20% solute and 80% water, it means less solute concentration, and outside it is a 40% solute and 60% water, it means the high solute concentration and low water. Okay, so this is the hypertonic solution. Okay, now next look the hypotonic solution. Now hypotonic means the low solute concentration and high water concentration. A solution that has lower solute concentration and higher water concentration than the other solution, the water particles will move into the cell. Okay, so you can see in diagram, inside the cell there is a 20% solute and 80% water, but outside the cell it is a 10% solute and 90% water, and this is a hypotonic solution because it has less solute and more water. If water is more, then water is more outside and water is less inside, so water molecules will enter into the cell and the cell will swell up, and if it does not bear this pressure of water, then it will lyse means burst. Okay, so these are the different types of solution: isotonic, hypertonic and hypotonic. Now what will happen to animal cell and plant cell if we put them in a different type of solution? Okay, if we put animal cell, it means RBC, into hypotonic solution, then the water enter into the cell according to osmosis and the cell will lyse. Okay, and if we put plant cell, then the plant cell can bear this pressure due to cell wall. Okay, so it will become a turgid. Okay, now if we put animal cell RBC into isotonic solution, it will remain same, the shape of cell will does not change. In plant cell same. Okay, if we put animal cell into the hypertonic solution, it means outside there is a less water, so the water will come out of the cell and the cell will shrink. Okay, in plant cell the water will come out of the cell and the cell is plasmolysed. Okay.